Good evening, students. So can we start now? From today onward, we will start the fruit science sections. In the fruit science, first we start the basics. So basics up to understanding what the things are ongoing and what is the basic things which you need to keep in your mind. Yeah, am I audible? Please just test me message, yes or not. Anyone? Yeah, it's okay. All right. So first we read the what is the basic things which are important in the fruit science for their propagation, landscaping, their protection, starting means their planning and layout, orchard designing. Then we go for the propagation, training, pruning. What the things are keep in mind when we go for the strong level. Okay. So first class, in this class we will read the only basic things. Okay. So as you know, I am Prabhanshu from Fruit Science Division from IRI. I secure All India rank first in JRF 2023 and All India rank first in SRF 2025 in the fruit science. Now I am a PhD research scholar from the IRI. Okay, so we will start the fruit science. First basics. Okay, so what is the economic significance? Okay, what is the economic significance of the fruit crops? Then we will go the next steps. 1 minute, please. Okay. So fruits crops are the high value potential for horticulture crops for the major contribution to. What is the need of the fruit science? First, here you see the fruits are the nutritional security. For nutritional security, how the fruits are rich in the minerals, nutrients, vitamin C, all the vitamins whatever they require for your body for the continuing the functional. Okay, so all the vitamins, minerals, essential amino acid, non-essential amino acids, some non-essential amino acids also present in the fruit crops. Okay, so therefore the fruits are the nutritional security. It will make the nutritional security. Next, the farm income and employment generation. Fruits crops are the resource of the minerals and higher attractive nature. Therefore the all the consumer first attract their fruits. Okay, you are keeping the vegetable, fruits or another cereal crops. So first, where the most attraction is going on, their fruits, because the attractive colors and their aroma, flavor, everything is required to employment generation. Okay, first the income, next the employment generation. In the fruits crops, first the start from the propagation, harvesting, mechanization, pruning, training, everywhere in each and every steps there are required of the employee. Okay, so fruit crops are the higher employment generation. Okay, next things, rural and industrialization. In the rural area, when you are going to initiate the fruit crop cultivation, then lots of the infrastructure is required. Okay, from the marketing and the beginning, in the some shops are required to purchase or buy the some essential instruments for the fruit crop cultivation. Okay, so rural industrialization, and that particular one more important concept is there, the cluster development programs. So similarly you can understand the cluster. This is the cluster, only thing is that you should make a proper cluster, 5 to 6 village or 10 village, like that, and on that area you should start the cultivation of any particular fruits. You should initiate the cultivation, and the requirement things is swaps somewhere the fertilizer, pruning techniques, and the fertilizer, pesticide swaps, then marketing, bagging, tagging. There are several things are required to purchase. So that particular cluster, you should make a cluster like the total the industrialization. Okay, so you can keep this industrialization. Next, the processing and value addition. You know, the processing, especially the fruits and vegetables, are more required in the processing industry. You should the daily consume the jam, jelly, ketchup, RTS, nectar. There are several processed products which are mostly made on the fruit crops. So the processing and value addition is another the important things in the fruit crops. Then the domestic and international trade. If you are produce a quality fruits, then you also sell in the domestic market and also the international market. This is the another opportunity. Export earning, if you are the continuous selling the your products in the international market, so the export earning is ongoing or increase. Okay, next the livelihood diversification. In the particular cluster, if you see in your village, if you are starting the cultivation of different fruits crops, so it make the diverse climate. Okay, means in the term, this climate is not the term of climate requirement. Okay, this climate we can say in the term of the fruit section. Okay, means there are, if you diversified the several fruits crop, that will make the a climate like structure. Okay, so same things is going on here. Genetic resource conservation, you should make the different germ plant is there, you should make that. And now the major things is that farmers also conserve or protect their germ plant in the PPVFRI. What is the PPVFRI? Plant protection. First, PPVFRI. Okay, this act was started from 2000 and act come in 2001, and this come the rule into force 2003. There are three. First, the initiation in 2000, their act is started from 2001 and their rule in the come into force in 2003. Okay, protection of plant variety and farmer right act. This is the full form of the PPVFRI. So this is the PPVFRI. You conserve your planting material, or you, if you have any the unique germ plant. Suppose you have the any particular fruit variety that having the some uniqueness, you should conserve it in the PPVFRI as a farmer variety. You should register here. So you get the benefit from the PPVFRI as a germ plant conservation, benefit sharing. There are several things on that you should take the some money from the PPVFRI. So this is the genetic resource conservation. Okay, next the climate resilient agriculture. If you have the wild relative or any the land races, so this make the climate resilient agriculture, because now the breeding is continue in every year, in every month even we can say. There are several new cultivars or improved cultivars is ongoing, and that are majorly focus on the fruit production, means we can say the yield or quality. They are not mug up the all the things which are the make the climate resilient. Climate resilient word means climate resilient. Who will say what is the climate resilient? What you should understand for this term? Anyone? Please respond. Okay, I will tell you. Suppose there is a crops. This is a crop. It is continue going in the tropical climate. Okay, you so know the tropical climate. Okay, when it is going on tropical climate, nowadays the climate change is the common in all area, even tropical, subtropical, and some temperate. Earlier, their temperature is around 25 degrees Celsius. Due to the climate change, it is going up to 35, sometime 35, and sometime 15 degrees Celsius. So this is the climate variable. if you are developed a variety that is capable to grow on 15 up to 35 degrees Celsius, that means these variety have the capability to tolerate the wide range of climate, means low temperature, medium temperature, high temperature. That is known as, in simply word, is the climate resilient, means it tolerates the wide range of climate variable. Okay, this is the climate resilient. Next, the economic advantage. What is the economic advantage of the fruit crops? So high value per unit area, because you know the fruit is the single tree will produce the maximum fruit, even ton sometime 15 ton 20 ton, even single plant sometime. So the per unit area means, suppose you have the 1 square meter area, which crops is to give the maximum yield. Suppose you are growing the vegetable or any cereal crop, this give the 10 kg, and wherein the fruit crops is give the 15 kg. So the maximum per unit area given only the fruit crops. Okay. Next, we have the scope for the processing and value addition. As we have discussed here, what is the importance of the fruit crops in the processing? Okay, so you should go on that. Long the productive life and perennial crops. As fruit crop is the perennial crop, mostly fruit crops are perennial crop. You should plant only a single time and it give the fruit continue. Okay, even 10 year, 15 year, I mean some crops even in 100 year. Okay, so single time planting, you harvest the multiple fruits in multiple season or multiple year. Okay, the multiple products from the single crops. Okay, you should plant a single tree. Suppose this is a tree, it will give the sometime leaves, fruits, seed, flowers. So there are several products which you can harvest from a single tree. So the maximum means single tree give the maximum product. High employment potential throughout the value chain. Here we already seen the what is the economics importance in the term of the employment generation. If you see the value chain, so first one is the nursery. You should stabilize the nursery where you plant the some plants and then you further it transplant in the main field. Next, the orchard development. You should transplant this nursery plant in the orchard. Next, the harvest the fruits. In between, there are several cultural practices which we will see in the later upcoming slides. Next one is the after harvesting, your second step is the grading. Next one is the packaging, storage, next processing and marketing, then export. This is the interlinked. Marketing means in the local market, and if you are going to international or any another state, so the this is going on the export. Okay, so this is the overall the value chain from the nursery up to the export. There are several interlinks are the contrast parameters which are going to maintain in the field. Okay, we will see in the one by one. So national composition of fruits. Wow, there are the several economic importance in terms of minerals, nutrition, vitamins. Okay, so we'll see here the components. Suppose the vitamin C. There are amla, maximum, guava, citrus. These are the fruit crops where this component is present. And what is the major importance? Sometime in your exam, these types of question may ask which crops or which fruit crop having the maximum vitamin C, and what is the role or what is the major importance of the vitamin C, like that. Okay, so suppose here vitamin C maximum present in the amla, second is the guava. In amla it present up to 600 mg. Okay, sometime they may be asked the concentration, what the amount will be present. Next, the guava. In the guava present 260 to 300 mg per 100 gram approx. This is the common range. Okay, next one is the citrus. In the citrus maybe it will present approx 60 to 90 mg. Okay, this is the common range. Okay, and what is the importance of the vitamin C? This is the importance for the antioxidant and in the collagen synthesis. This is the antioxidant important because the vitamin C directly role as a antioxidant defense system in our body. Okay, even the plants also. Next, the provitamin A, or you can say the carotenoids are vitamin A only. Maximum present in the mango, approx 4800 IU. Okay, IU means international unit. Next, the papaya. In the papaya present 2020 IU. Next, the upcoming the apricot persimmon. Okay, this is the vision increase the eye. Eye the means eye जो वो है their visuality increase. Next, the antioxidant activities also. Several potassium as like the banana maximum approx the 450 mg it present. Next, the avocado, dates, dried fruits. Okay, this is the common hierarchical, maximum in the banana, then avocado, dates, dried fruits. Okay, osmotic balance and reverse transcription. Dietary fiber maximum present in the guava, approx 6.9 gram. Okay, dietary fiber. What is the role of the dietary fiber? Gut health and the satiety. Main the fibers, when you consume the fiber rich fruits, so it directly attract the digestion system. Okay, if you consume the maximum fiber food, their digestion is the very easily. Okay, yeah, Barbados cherry is there, but Barbados cherry is the not commercial fruits. When you can going in the maximum, then we consider only those crops which are the commercial cultivated. Okay, in the Barbados cherry, it present in approx 1000 to 6000 mg per 100 gram vitamin C. Okay, but Barbados cherry is the not commercial fruit. Similarly, here the mango, there are several minor crops, minor fruit crops here the maximum vitamin A is present in compared to mango. But here we consider on the only the major crops which are the regularly continuing in our condition. Okay, so similarly in the natural organic acid, natural sugars, grapes, mango, banana, dates, this is the common source. Organic acid, what is the included in organic acid? Citric acid, malic acid, ascorbic acid, all these are included in the organic acid. So citrus, grapes, apple, pineapple, these are the all important source of the organic acid. Next, the phenolics. Phenolics present in the maximum. Pomegranate, even the bale fruits where the maximum phenolics content is present. Bale, berries, guava, apple. Okay, this is the common. Next slide, we will see the maximum content. Anthocyanin, all the blue are the black or purplish types of fruits, as like here the jamun, berries, grapes, pomegranate having the anthocyanin content. This anthocyanin is also important for the antioxidant defense. Okay, as it is a pigment, even though it is a important source of the, but the last year. Yes, Barbados cherry, as we see the up to 6000 mg. Okay, according to your option, maximum time they are not going to put the these types of minor crops in your option. So you should consider the maximum in the amla because amla is the commercially grown fruits. Okay, next the Barbados cherry, if it is in option, then always Barbados cherry is correct. Okay, but maximum time if they are not going in the depth, say they take the only general fruit crops in your option. Okay, so you continue go on that. Okay, next the beta carotene. Beta carotene is similarly in the provitamin A. Beta carotene is maximum mango, papaya, apricot, persimmon. Okay, iron, this is the important. Iron maximum in the dried fruits, mulberry, blackberry, especially in the dried karotha, and that 39.1, approx 39.1 mg per 100 gram iron is present in the dried karotha. Okay, the folate is another vitamins. This is avocado, citrus, papaya, kiwi. And this slide is more important. Here you see the maximum carbohydrate. Maximum carbohydrate present in the resin. That is the 77.3%. What is the resin? Dried. What is the resin? If the both option is present, then always Barbados cherry is correct. Okay. So the resin is the dried grapes, that is called resin. Resin and munakka, there are two terms. Munakka, when going to seeded grapes will dry, that is the munakka, and when the seedless grapes is dried, then this is called resin. Okay, so maximum 77.3% carbohydrate present in the resin. Second one is the dry apricot, then the dry karoda, then the dry date. Okay. Next one is the protein. As you know the protein, this is the maximum present in the cashew 21.2%, followed by almond 20.88%. Okay. Next one is the fat, maximum present in the walnut 64.5%, and followed by almond 58.9%. Okay. Next one is the fiber, as we see the guava 6.9%, followed by almond 2.23%, and also present in the fig. Fig is also a rich source of the fiber. Okay. Next one is the calcium. Calcium present in the lychee 0.21%, dry karunda 0.16%, and also rich in the papaya. Papaya is also rich source of the calcium. Okay. Next one is the phosphorus. Almond 0.49%, cashew 0.45%. You should consider only two. Maximum two is enough for your exam point of view. Okay. Next one is the phosphorus. Phosphorus we had discussed. Iron maximum in the dry corn the 39.1%, followed by date 10.6%. Next the iodine. Iodine present in only vegetable, that is the that is, so iodine maximum present in the finger leaf, that is we can say in the okra, that is a vegetable. Okay. Potassium, this is the common, as we have discussed in the guava also resource of the avocado resource of the potassium. Okay. Calorific value we can see in the maximum in the walnut 687 per 100 gram, followed by almond 655 per 100 gram. Okay. Vitamin E, A, as we have already discussed, the Aman plum, this is not common. Maximum Aman plum, but the Aman plum is the minor crop. Therefore, we have considered the mango is the maximum. Okay. Similarly, in the vitamin B1, cashew nut is the maximum. Vitamin B2, again the bale is the maximum. Okay. Next, the vitamin B3. These are minor vitamins. They may not be asked this in your exam. So lychee. Next one is the vitamin B3, maximum the nut crops. Okay, vitamin B5 is also none. And most important here the vitamin C, as we have discussed the Barbados cherry, Amla and guava. And Barbados cherry in your option, then you should correct the Barbados cherry. Then the vitamin D is only present in the mushroom and other some vegetable crops also. Similarly, vitamin E present in the avocado, mango, the oily crops where the oil is present, the vitamin E is also present. Okay. Next one is the overall nutrition value is pomegranate and fig. This is the important table for your exam point of view. They may ask the maximum, the values and maximum which crops which may be it present. Okay. So this is the important table for your exam point of view. So next topic is the scope of fruit crop. Where the maximum scope of fruit crop. First start from the production. So orchard establishment, there are several scope in orchard establishment. First the, okay, we make the in both language by language. Okay, orchard establishment. First the orchard establishment, you should first the planning and layout development, implementation, then nursery establishment. There are several scope in the orchard establishment. Next the canopy management. Okay, so canopy management, there are several training system, pruning system, and in the complement of the training and pruning system which are important for the high density planting, especially ultra high density planting. Okay. Next, the crop regulation, as you see in the citrus, pomegranate, guava, there are several importance in the crop regulation because there are several bahar, ambe bahar, mrig bahar, hast bahar, which we see in the crops. So, okay, when we discuss the crops. Irrigation and nutrition, there are ultra types of irrigation and advanced types of irrigation, drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation. So there are the scope of the irrigation management. Similarly, in the nutrition management, especially in the fertigation, when we go in the precision horticulture, then the fertigation is important. Next scope in the propagation. Seed propagation, there are only few fruits crops as like the papaya is the only propagated by seed. Next the vegetative propagation. From the cutting, budding, layering, grafting, all and every steps there are the scope in the food science. Okay, next one is the root stock. Root stock selection, conservation, breeding, and their multiplication. There are several importance in the root stock which we see in the later slide when we discuss the propagation. Next one is the micro propagation. Basically in the when we discuss the tissue culture. In the tissue culture, calyx culture, meristem culture for the virus free planting material. So here also scopes the crop improvement, germ plant conservation, for the germ plant survey of the germ plant, then conservation, then the breeding for the selection, hybridization, mutation, polyploidy. There are several breeding techniques which we continually use in the fruit crops. Then the molecular breeding, there are several molecular tools from the RFLP, SR, SNP. There are several molecular marker which we can use in the fruit breeding. Next, the biotechnology. Biotechnology included the first one is the micropropagation, then the genetic transformation, as we can see the transgenic, next the gene editing. There are several importance in the biotechnology. Okay, this is the next the post harvest. Okay, in the post harvest, first the maturity indices. Okay, if you are the only horticulturist, then you should identify the proper maturity stage, otherwise fruit will harvest at the immature stage or overripe stage. Okay. So say next one is the harvesting. The special techniques we will require for the harvesting, storage, packaging, and cold chain. This is the post-harvest management part. Next one is the modern fruit production. When you go the high density planting or ultra high density planting. So what is the high density planting and ultra high density planting? We have the separate slide for that where we discuss it. The precision horticulture we have discussed in the next upcoming slide. Protected cultivation also, and climate resilient as we have discussed already. So this is the scopes of the fruit science. It started from the production, propagation, crop improvement, post harvest, and modern fruit production. Okay, so you have the several scopes in the fruit science. So origin and evolution, first the advanced topics from the two-day lecture. So origin, where the crops is originated first time. So as a scientist, first the Vavilov is a Russian scientist who give the term crop origin. Okay, crop origin. How the crop originated? First, you know the wild ancestor or wild relatives. First, the one ancestor. On that natural, there are several steps which are ongoing, and now the commercial, which are the modern breeding tools and modern cultivator are derived. So first one is the wild relatives, from where the starting the evolution was started. Okay, first the wild relative. Then the natural variation is increased due to the mutation, natural selection. There are several steps which are continue to develop the some variant on that ancestor. Next, the mutation, hybridization, and recombination. This is also responsible for the natural variation. Next, the natural selection. It is some humans are such, this is the, and they realize this is the important crops or important fruits which we can use for our consumption. Okay, so natural selection is ongoing. Next one is the human selection. First, the human is identified, this is the important which we can use as a food. Okay, next they select some of the important, some are the high yielder or high attractive, high quality fruits, on that they are selected. Then the domestication, most important thing is the domestication. When the crop is commercially come into contact of the human started their cultivation, as in easy way we can say. Okay, so domestication first important here. From the domestication, the advanced breeding is started from here only. Cultivation, cultivar development, and now the modern breeding techniques. There are several modern breeding techniques, as the mutation initiated from here, some wild ancestor, and that the same variant are developed. Okay, so the mutation. Next, the hybridization. Hybridization may be two types: the natural hybridization and man-made or human hybridization. We interest natural hybridization, plant artificially hybridize it with mean these two types. Okay, next one is the human made. We are human, the just take the flowers and emasculated it and pollinated it. This is the artificial. Okay, natural and artificial. Next one is the polyploid breeding. Polyploidy may be natural and artificial. Some plants or some cultivars are artificial, are naturally crossed, and they give the double chromosome. Okay, next one is the we treat the colchicine, and this will the double the chromosome. Okay, so this is the two steps for the polyploid breeding. Next one is the apomixis. We will discuss it in the propagation section. Okay, natural selection. That is the here plant. First we identify this is the important cultivar and important variety which give the maximum fruit. So we are directly selected it and continue the growing. Next one is the introgression. Some we introgress the some important traits by the use of the hybridization techniques or any advanced techniques to introduce the some desirable trait on the particularly cultivated types. Next one is the clonal variation. Some clonal variation is there. You continue growing on single crops, even though due to mutation or any things are due to climate change, some variant are there which give the maximum yield on that, especially cultivars. Okay, you know the clonal is the true two types, but sometimes there will be mutation, there will be any another epigenetic modification or anything which give the some variant on that. This give the some other types of fruit. Suppose in the clonal it give the these types of fruit, and on the variant it give the maximum large size of fruit. So we select this one and continue the propagation. Okay, so this is the important step of the evolution. Next one is the center of origin. How many center of origin is there? Okay, so center of origin is what? the geographical region where the crop is considered to have originated. Okay, in the world there are some area, from this area this crop is originated. Suppose the mango, this is the mango, this will originate from this area. We identify a certain area from where the any specific crop is originated. Okay, so we can see the center of diversity is the first one, is the center of origin, where this is the originated, this is the origin. How we can see the particular region from where the crop is originated? Due to the presence of the dominant gene. Okay, wild relative, maximum the wild types are present in this area, maximum diversity present in this area. Okay, so on that basis we identify this is the area where this crop is the originated, this crop was originated. Okay, next one is the center of diversity. Diversity means anything where the maximum diversity is present on that crops only. Suppose is the mango, so maximum variation, suppose this is the area, maybe it is a center of origin or maybe anywhere, but the things is there, maximum diversity means maximum cultivars will be present, maximum wild relative will be present, maybe it will originated on that area or maybe introduced from this area. Okay, so this is the center of diversity. This is the two term. First one is the center of origin, next one is the center of diversity. Okay, so you can't be confused here. The geographical region containing the high genetic variability of the crops are related. Okay, maximum variability will be there but may not be originated on that area, may or may not be. Okay, next one is the why the center of diversity is important. So first one is the germplasm exploitation. If you going for the germplasm selection or identification, so this is the area where the maximum variability is present. So you go on this area and pick the someone on the basis of your requirement. Identification of useful allele. This is the alleles where maximum chance it will present in this area only. Resistant breeding, if you want the especially any biotic resistant, abiotic resistant, so then the most probability some resistant relatives will be present in this particular area. Quality improvement, this is also present in this area only. Climate adaptation, conservation of the genetic resource, you should select someone, maybe due to the genetic erosion or any region, maybe this germplasm will lost, so you should go on that area, you select someone and conserve it in the in vitro or in vivo, so protect the germplasm erosion. Okay, so importance, what is the importance? Center of origin and center of diversity is not always the identical. As we see, the center of origin may be this and center of diversity may be this. Here the we select or we introduce the several germplasm. As we give the example, you see the mango, center of origin is Indo-Burma region, but the maximum diversity will be present in the USA, especially the USA, because the USA it is not originated, it was not originated, but the scientists introduced the maximum mango relatives or mango variety on that area. So therefore the mango origin and maximum mango diversity are the different. Okay, next one is the 8 classical center commonly associated with Vavilov. Vavilov is the Russian scientist which give the who give the same 8 center of origin. First one is the Chinese center. This is the central eastern China and adjoining area. This is the maximum and maximum diversity present in the there. If we see in the largest center of origin. Okay, so this is the Chinese center is the largest center of origin. Largest center. The example is peach, pear, apricot, lychee, locust, some prunus species was originated on this Chinese center of origin. Next one is the Hindustan center of origin. Hindustan center include the Indian subcontinent, particularly area associated with India, Assam, adjoining area up to the Philippines. This is the Indo-Burma region. Okay. The example is the mango, jackfruit, jamun, citrus, uh, Indian jujube means bear. There are several fruits which was originated in the Hindustan center of origin. Next one is the Central Asiatic center, include the Northwest Asia, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. Example is apple, apricot, grapes, almond, pistachio nut. Okay, here you see the included the Northwest India, means in the Hindustan center is stated from the Northeast India and up to Assam and Philippines and that area only. But the Northwest India is included in the Central Asiatic center. Okay, so don't be confused here. Maybe they will ask these types of question in your exam. Near Eastern center is Iran or Turkmenistan adjoining Western Asian region. Example is grape, pomegranate, almond, walnut, fig, cherry. If you see here, some crops are originated in the two center of origin. Means only single species will be not there. Some another species is also there, that be maybe it originated from there, here also and there also. Okay, so don't be confused here. Next one is the Mediterranean center. Is the country surrounding the Mediterranean basin, Mediterranean Sea and that surrounded area. Okay, example is olive, grape, fig and various prunus fruits. Next one is the Abasian center, primarily the Ethiopia, East Africa and Highland region. Important diversity is coffee and cereal pulses. Only the coffee is important in your exam point of view. Next one is the Central American center, Mexico, Central America adjoining the tropical region. Important fruit crop is papaya, avocado, grapes. Okay, so here the papaya, avocado, grapes, they may be asked this types of question in the maximum time of exam. Okay, South American center include the Andes, Chile and Brazil, especially in the Paraguay and Uruguay region. There are two regions in the Brazil. Example is the pineapple, passion fruit, cashew apple. So this is the especially in the American center of origin. Maximum time they pick these types of question. Okay, so you should know the papaya, avocado, guava, passion fruit, cashew, pineapple. Okay, so this is the total 8 center of origin, and you should the example, you should know the example in each and every center of origin. What is the major crops? Okay, and this will be seen the later slides, later upcoming class where we discuss the crop wise, crop specific. Okay, so next one is the classification of fruit crops. Please 1 minute. In the classification of fruit crops, there are several bases. On the basis of that, we classified the fruit crops. Here we discuss the major one. Okay, first one is the climatic. Okay, so the climatic classification is divided into three types: subtropical, tropical and temperate. Basically three types, but on that subtropical may be divided into arid and semi-arid types. Okay, so first one is the subtropical fruits. Okay, in the subtropical tropical fruit generally adapted to moderate winter, not the very hot or very cold winter. Okay, warm summers, summer will be very high temperature, and mild chilling in the some crops. Some crops may be require the somewhat the chilling temperature. Okay, seasonal temperature variation, in the summer it goes up to maximum temperature, and in the winter is up to maximum in the lower temperature, means 45 to 10 degrees Celsius. This is the common range of this subtropical. So there may be maximum temperature variation in the climate variation, especially in the subtropical fruit. Example is the mango, citrus, guava, sapota, avocado, passion fruit. This is the basically crops which are the tropical but may be cultivated in the subtropical area. So the tropical and subtropical, there may be somewhere the overlapping will be there. Okay, so these types of question maybe they will ask. Okay, but there will be some confusion because the mango is the typical tropical crop but cultivated in subtropical area. Maximum area production you see in the northern area. Okay, citrus similarly the tropical crops but cultivated in subtropical area. Guava is also tropical crops but cultivated in subtropical area. Sapota is the tropical crops only. Avocado is the tropical and subtropical both. In the passion fruit is the tropical crops but may be cultivated in the subtropical area. Okay, next one is the temperate crops. Okay, in the temperate crop generally require the cool winter, low temperature exposure, especially in the winter. As you see, the temperate crop means it will only survive under the winter climate. Okay, chilling requirement may be species. Several species have the higher chilling require up to 3000 hours. Some crops are there which require up to 100 to 200 hours only. Okay, distant the seasonal growth means in the winter it goes up to 0 degrees Celsius, but in the summer it goes up to 20 degrees Celsius, 25 degrees Celsius. So here the minimum temperature tolerate ability is there. How the tolerate ability is there? Due to the dormancy. What is the dormancy? In many deciduous species, this is the especially deciduous, Dormancy is the condition where plant will survive under the adverse climatic condition. This will drop their all the leaves and plant go in the quiescent condition, and that condition plant will not maintain their active condition. They are not continue growing. Okay, so this will the condition where the plants survive under the adverse climatic condition. Okay, example is apple, pear, peach, plum, apricot, cherry, persimmon. Persimmon is the temperate crop but go in the subtropical condition. Kiwi fruits, walnut, almond, pecan nut, hazelnut, chestnut. This is the example of the temperate fruit crop. Next one is the arid and semi-arid fruits. Okay, so arid and semi-arid basically it is derived from the subtropical fruit. Okay, so adaptation feature is the drought tolerant. Because the arid and semi-arid term is included, this means that it survive under the adverse very high temperature and very high drought condition. Okay, efficient water utilization, heat tolerance, and how this survive under, because the extensive deep root system in the many species. Because the presence of the deep root system, it will uptake the water from the deeper region of the soil. This is the mechanism on that it will survive under the adverse climatic condition. Ability to survive under the moisture state, this is okay. Example is the bear, amla, bale, pomegranate, date palm, fig, tamarind, falsa, carissa means karonda, wood apple, custard apple. These are the example of arid and semi-arid fruit crops. Okay. Next one is the botanical classification of fruit crops in the important family. And this is the important exam point of view. Anacardiaceae, under the Anacardiaceae, mango is there, cashew is there, pistachio is there. Under the Rutaceae family, citrus, lemon, mandarin are the citrus family. Okay. Next one is the wood apple is also there in the Rutaceae family. Myrtaceae, guava, jamun, rose apple. These all the come under the Myrtaceae family. In the Rosaceae, all that maximum temperate crops as apple, pear, peach, plum, apricot, strawberry, cherry, almond. Okay. These are the come under the Rosaceae family. Next one is the Vitaceae where the grapes is there. And next one is the Musaceae, as you know the this is the common in the banana, Caricaceae in the papaya, Bromeliaceae in the pineapple, Sapindaceae in lychee and rambutan, Annonaceae the custard apple, soursop, cherry, moya. These all the come under the Annona section. Okay. Luraceae the avocado, Moraceae the jackfruit, breadfruit, Ebinaceae the persimmon. This is the only things you should mug up in your mind. Okay. Actinidaceae kiwi fruit, Araceae date from coconut, Passifloraceae the passion fruit. This is the some example family and their example fruit crops. Okay. Next one is the classification based on the fruit type. This is the important. There are three types: simple fruit, aggregate fruit, and multiple fruit. What is this? Grape basically, grape is the temperate crop, but grapes will survive under the tropical, subtropical, and temperate. If you see the grapes origin, their origin is Mediterranean region, means is the temperate originated crop, but will survive in the tropical, subtropical, and temperate. All these three conditions. Okay. So basically, grape is the temperate crop. Okay. So first one is the simple fruit. Simple fruit means single flower and single ovary. You should remember these two terms: single flower and single ovary. Here we'll see single ovary and single flower. Means fruit is developed or derived from a single flower. On that flower, only single ovary is there. Okay, that fruit is called a simple fruit. Example: mango, guava, grapes, peach, plum, so on. Okay. Next one is the aggregate fruit. What is the difference in the simple and aggregate fruit? Here the multiple ovary but single flower. Means single flower will be there, but on that flower there will be maximum ovary up to 15, 100, 200 means maximum more than one ovary will be there. Okay, so these fruits are called aggregate fruits. There will be single flower, but in the simple fruit only single ovary will be there. That ovary will develop the fruits, and in this aggregate fruit multiple ovary is there. Okay, so single flower but multiple ovary. These two terms you should remember. That is called aggregate fruit. Example is strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, and custard apple. Next one is the multiple fruit. Multiple fruit means multiple term is there, means multiple flower will develop a single fruit. Here this is the multiple flower. Suppose this is the flower and this will united in the single, and give to a single fruit. This is called multiple fruit. As example, you see the jackfruit. Jackfruit is the catkin. In the catkin, one, these types of flower will be maximum 1,000 flower, up to 1,000 flower will be there, and these flower pollinated and develop a single fruit. That fruit is united. Okay, that is called multiple fruit. Example is pineapple, jackfruit, mulberry. And if you see the inflorescence of the pineapple, then it is like that. One flower is there, it pollinated and form a conic, a conic. This is the, at last it will develop a single fruit. That is called multiple fruit. So there will be three types: simple fruit, aggregate fruits, and multiple fruits. Okay. For the grapes, you should choose the temperate crop, because the origin, basically how you connect, this is the tropical, subtropical, and temperate. Based on their origin, it will be originated in the temperate area, then always it considered a temperate crop. Anyhow, anywhere it survive, it not important, but you trace on the basis of their originated. Okay, so grapes is originated in temperate area, so always grapes is a temperate crops. Okay, this is their nature, it will survive under different climate condition. Okay. So here, on the basis of the how many flowers and how many ovary evolve to develop a single fruit, on the basis of that there will be three types of fruits. Simple fruits means single flower and single ovary. You should remember these two terms. In the aggregate fruits, single flower but multiple ovary. Okay, and the third, multiple fruits means multiple flower will produce a single fruit. Okay, so this on the basis of their only three types of fruits. Okay. Next, there are several under types of fruit. Suppose here the mango botanical fruit types is the drupe. Suppose peach drupe, plum is also drupe, cherry drupe. This is the example, you should remember this. Okay, grapes is the types of berry, guava is the berry, banana again the berry, citrus is the hesperidine, pomegranate is the volasta. This is the modified of berry. Apple is the pome, pear is the pome, strawberry is aggregate accessory fruit. This is the aggregate types of fruit. Single flower but multiple ovary will develop the fruits. Okay, pineapple is the multiple fruit where the multiple flower develop a single fruits. Jackfruit is the multiple fruit again. Fig is the cyconus. Mulberry is the sorosis. This is the aggregate types of fruits. Okay, here you see the simple fruits. Types of simple fruits is the first one is the drupe. In the drupe, one stone will be there. That is the stony, means hard seeds is there. Maybe it is one or maybe it two, three, four, but there should be hard. Okay, in the drupe, the stony endocarp will be present. Okay, they may be divide the epicarp, fleshy mesocarp, stony endocarp seed, but stone will be present on their center. Okay, this is the typical example of the drupe. Whatever fruits is derived under the drupe section, that having the stone will be there. Okay. Yeah, I will discuss here. This is the typical region why we say this is a drupe. In the second one is the berry. In the berry, what is the basis of we divide the fleshy pericarp and multi-seeded. Berry, maximum time it will be multi-seeded. Okay, and the fleshy pericarp. There, this one is the part where the mesocarp, endocarps, and exocarp. This will be fleshy and multiple seed will be there, and that seed maybe it will edible, may not be edible. Edibility is not the criteria where we divide it. Okay, so the character of berry is the fleshy pericarp and multi-seeded. Okay, this is the characters of the berry. Next one is the pome. Here the false fruit, we can say this is the false fruit. Why we discuss it? Fleshy thalamus will be there. Why? This is the edible part. This is the called thalamus. Here the fruit is derived from the thalamus, not the we can say in the ovary. Okay, this is the only true fruits. Under the apple section, the central parts where the seed is present, this is the true fruit. But what we edible part, this is the thalamus. So pome fruits, whatever the pome fruit will be there the fleshy thalamus will be there, that we have the consumed. Okay. There may be several students there, they cannot be understand the Hindi. That's why we will teach only in English. Okay. Maximum student from the Karnataka, they can't be understood the Hindi. Okay. So this is the Pome, example of pome. In the pome, the edible part is the not true fruits, where the false fruit, because the thalamus is the edible part. Next one is the hesperidin, is the leathery rind with the oil glands. Here the this is the outer part that is the presence of the oil glands and leathery in nature, and the edible part is the juicy placenta here. Okay, this is the typical example of hesperidin. On that, all the citrus fruits is the best example. Next one is the dry fruit. This is the example on the vegetable crop. We cannot touch the vegetable crop. Next, in the aggregate fruits, you see here the from the single flower but multi-carping, means multiple ovary will be there. Here not only single ovary. Okay, here the multiple ovary will be present, and this give you produce a single flower. So there will be several types: area of akins, area of drupes, where the droplets will be formed, and area of berry, where the berries like structure will be formed. This is the aggregate, but there ultimately this one is the single fruits. Okay, from derived from the single ovary, that cone here also. So this will belong to the drupe types, then etoria of the drupes, and it will belong to berry types, then etoria of berry is there. Okay, so on the basis of that, the aggregate fruit will derive from three types: etoria of akins, etoria of drupes, and etoria of the berries. Okay, so you should know the example of that. Next one is the multiple fruits. Here the multiple flower is there. That flower produces single fruit. That is the inflorescence. The single inflorescence, multiple flower was there, and this will produce a single fruit. You see, this is a single fruit, but here the multiple flowers. Okay, the example is the your pineapple. Here the all this is the individual fruits. Okay, this is combined and form a single fruit. Similarly, in the jackfruit also derived from the multiple flowers. Okay, so example is pineapple, jackfruits, mulberry. Okay, so cyconus in the mulberry also, this is one is a single one is the this is the flower. Okay, this is the single flower that will form a single fruit. These are the example of the fruits. Okay. Okay, drupe and stone, only single difference is there. The drupe fruit, their seed is not edible, but stone fruit, their seed may be edible. Okay, on the basis of that, two types. Further, the stone fruit will be divided into two types: true stone fruits and false stone fruit. Okay, in the false stone fruit, example is lychee. Ultimately, if you see the structure of the lychee, this is a types of drupe. Okay, on the drupe it will divide on the basis of their edibility and non-edibility. Those fruits which are not, their seed is not edible, that is called drupe, and those fruits their seed is also economic important, that will edible, that is called the stone fruit. And in the stone fruit also there are will be two types: true stone fruits and false stone fruits. In the false stone fruits, lychee is an example where their seed is not the edible. Okay, this is the example nut crops. Okay, so nut and drupe. Basically, if you see the structure, that is the only a types of drupe. Okay, so don't be confused here. In the drupe and nut, you can see this is a similar term. Okay, their structure is the same. You just remember the example true, and if you go in the depth, so the true nut fruits and false nut fruit also there. Okay. Next, classification based on the growth habit. There are the herbaceous types, shrubs, and vine. They may be asked. In the herbaceous parent crop, only few fruits crops is there. First one, banana, pineapple, papaya. Okay, and the shrubs and small trees. The maximum crop will belong this category. Only guava, pomegranate, bear, falsa. And in the tree, basically in the tree, mango, citrus, apple, pear, lychee, jackfruit. This is the third types, and this one is the fourth type. Where the wine may be grapes, passion fruit, and kiwi fruit. So here the passion fruit is also wine type. Don't be confused here. Okay. So passion fruit is the another example here. Growth habit is strongly influenced. Up this is the types of growth habit where the herbaceous shrubs and small tree and vines and climber. This may be influence on the growth habit influence. The training system, what the training system we followed. Okay, on the basis of maybe this will lay a tree, but on the basis of training system we convert into a small shrub. Okay, next one is the pruning requirement on the basis of herbaceous plant, shrubs, tree, wine. Basically, the wine crops require the maximum pruning. Next one is the tree crops. Tree crops require the minimum pruning techniques. Okay, pruning intensity. So this is also influence planting density. On the basis of the growth habit, we decide the what is the density we should follow. Okay, means the if the tree there, then maximum density will be follow. When the small shrubs or small tree there, then minimum density is required. Then mechanization. Suppose you have the vine crops or small shrub crops, then the mechanization easily will adopt. But when the maximum tree their height may be 10 feet, 20 feet, then mechanization is very intensive. Okay, that will not easily follow. The canopy manage the ultimately things which we follow in the next slide. Okay, next classification based on the leaf behavior. Leaf behavior will be two types, evergreen and deciduous types. Okay, retain the functional foliage throughout the year. Means this is the evergreen type. This will leaves attach in the plant throughout the year. Where in the deciduous types, all the leaves will be drops and plant will go under the dormant condition. This is the difference between deciduous and evergreen. Okay, so example in the mango, citrus, guava, sapota, avocado, this is the example of the evergreen. Okay, where all the time throughout the year plants are always in the green in nature. Where in the deciduous crops, where the all temperate crop, apple, pear, peach, plum, apricot, cherry, all these are belong to the deciduous types. Here the important thing is the fig, grapes, pomegranate. These example you should remember because this is the confusion type. When pomegranate you grow in the tropical area, it behave as a evergreen. When you grow in the pomegranate under the temperate area, it behave as a deciduous type. So these is the actual the deciduous types, but their adoptive where we adopt it will behave on that. Okay, so this is the important example. You should remember this. Okay, you know the temperate type easily you identify, but this maybe create the confusion. Next, the horticulture regions in India. This is an important topics in your slides. So India can be broadly be divided according to temperature, rainfall, soil, evaluation, length of the growing season, and chilling condition. On the basis of these six parameters, we divided the uh, our regions, basically the agriculture regions and horticulture region. In the horticulture region, only six region is there. In all the competitive exam, you should find only the agri-ecological zones, but not follow find in the horticulture ecological zones. Okay. Strawberry is the herb, very small tree. Okay. Shrub is the very large tree, up to suppose their height may be up to 4 meters. This is the shrub. Maybe small, medium, and tall, three shrubs. But the herb their height maximum 1 feet. Okay. So this is the example of herb, shrub, tree. On the basis of their height, their growth habit, we divided it. So strawberry is the herb, example of herb. Okay. So on the basis of that, we divide the horticulture into six regions. You can't find this in any competitive book. Okay. So first one is the Himalaya region where we grow in the temperate crops only. Next one is the North Indian plants where the subtropical fruits is commonly grown in the north area, basically UP, MP, these part, Haryana, Rajasthan, this region. Next one is the Central and Deccan region where the dry land and subtropical fruit we grow. Next one is the western region where the arid and semi-arid fruits commonly grow, and the coastal region where the tropical fruits is grown, and northeastern region when the humid and subtropical crops is grown. So this is the total six regions horticulture in, especially horticulture region. First one is the Himalayan, North Indian plants, Central and Deccan region, Western region, coastal region, and Northeastern region. You should remember all these six. Okay, because in everywhere you find the agri-ecological zone, not the horticultural zone. Okay. Next, the fruit production system. We follow in the further slides. Modern fruit production has evolved from. In additionally, in the previous time, earlier time, the traditional orcharding is followed. Not the proper canopy management, proper planting, all the forest, like the forest. Similarly, in the forest, you see there no be any systematic cultivation will be there. This is the traditional times. On that we drive the conventional orcharding. Conventional orcharding, we followed the some the planting system, somewhat the canopy management, somewhat another management techniques. Okay, so this one is the conventional. On that we followed the high density. this is the hierarchical. Up to this we now on this position. Okay, so high density planting, we reduce the number spacing. Okay, suppose the common 10-meter planting, this one is the 10-meter distance. Okay, in the high density we reduce their distance is 5 meter. Okay, this is the high density planting. Okay, in high density, up to next one is the ultra high density, we further reduce the distance up to 1 into 2 meter. Here 5 into 5 meter, from 10 to 10, here 1 into 2 meter will follow. This is the ultra high density planting. So the conventional, then high density planting, then ultra high density planting. And now the precision horticulture. In the precision horticulture, everything is the control way, from the planting, okay, irrigation, fertigation, canopy management, harvesting, all the mechanization will followed in the precision horticulture. Okay. Okay, somewhat I will use the Hindi. In the precision horticulture, in simply the traditional system जो हम बहुत पहले follow करते थे. Okay, now the drives conventional horticulture or the conventional जो conventional orcharding है. Earlier days what we followed, there will be no systematic cultivation. कोई हमारा systematic तरीका नहीं था वहाँ पे. अब यहाँ पे हम थोड़ा propagation, थोड़ा canopy management, somewhat we start the initiation here. Next we go the high density planting, some advancement will be there, then we go in the high density planting, और उसके बाद थोड़ा और advancement आया, then we should start the ultra high density planting. And in the precision horticulture, everything will be mechanized. Here we use the GIS, GPS, robotics and sensors, drip irrigation, fertigation, canopy management, different machinery used for the canopy management, different machinery used for the irrigation, different machinery used for the harvesting, everything we mechanize. And also the protected cultivation in the precision or shading. So this is the techniques where now they meadow horticulture. The ultra high density planting is called the meadow orcharding, not the different. Ultra high density planting is called the meadow orcharding. Okay, let's see the when we start the high density planting, then we will discuss this in detail. Conventional orcharding system, the wider spacing. This is the conventional. What is the things is follow on the conventional? Low plant population, larger tree canopy because we not follow the any training and pruning system. Delay bearing because the large plant height we cannot be maintain there any bearing habit, so it will delay the higher precocity, may give the 10 after the 10-year 12-year 15-year after planting it give the fruit. Difficult the mechanization, if you see the larger plants height, then how you can use the mechanized techniques or mechanization any machinery. Okay, relatively low productivity per unit area, if the plants is can't be managed anyway. Okay, it will give the yeah, protected cultivation is follow is possible, we'll see in the upcoming slide. Okay, next advantage, what is the advantage of conventional orcharding? Large orchard life because we can't be disturb the any way, so it will have the larger survival period up to 100 year. Simple management, there will be not any mechanization, any pruning techniques, we easily manage it. Large tree architecture, very large plant height. Okay, limitation, what is limitation? Low early productivity, very low productivity, and very late it start the juvenility, very long juvenility period. Difficult canopy management because plant height very high, to how can we manage the canopy. Next, the higher labor requirement, plant height further when high, the larger the wider spacing, then their management will be very difficult. That's why we go on the next the high density, ultra high density or precision horticulture to increase the productivity as well as quality of the fruits. Okay, delayed bearing. Okay, suppose you have a plant, this will make a height 10 meter, 10 feet की बात करते हैं. Okay, नेक्स्ट अनदर सेम ही वैरायटी के, सपोज आप मैंगो का दशहरी वैरायटी प्लांट करें, इफ यू आर गोइंग टू प्लांट ए दशहरी वैरायटी, देयर हाइट विल बी 10 feet and another you maintain their height up to 5 feet. Okay, so up to what age is required to maintain the height of 10 feet? सपोज आपका अगर प्लांट है वो 10 फीट हाइट के लिए 5 year टाइम ले रहा है, अगर उसकी हाइट आप थ्रू द प्रूनिंग आप रिड्यूस कर दे रहे हैं, उसकी हाइट इट टेक 5 फीट के लिए 5 ईयर ले रहा, here it will take 10 year, so here 5 year will reduce, okay, their juvenility 5 year reduced to make their full height, okay, मैक्सिमम उसकी जितना हाइट होना था उससे कम कर दी। अब यहाँ आपका 5 ईयर जो सेव हो रहा है, ऑन द 5 ईयर इट विल रिड्यूस द 2.5 ईयर ऑन टू मेक देयर जुवेनिलिटी, आफ्टर इसका जो भी हाइट था उसके बाद कुछ टाइम लेते हैं मेच्योरिटी के लिए। अब यहाँ हाइट इसका इतना हम सेट कर दिए क्योंकि इसका हेडिंग बैक कर दी यहाँ पे, ओके, तो इसकी हाइट जब 5 मीटर रह गया तो इसका जुवेनिलिटी के लिए जो टाइम चाहिए रहता, अब यहाँ 5 ईयर हमारे पास सेव हो रहा है तो उसमें 2.5 ईयर ले लेगा इसकी जुवेनिलिटी के लिए, तो यहाँ पे हमारा ओवरऑल वी सी द 2.5 ईयर विल रिड्यूस, ओके। सो प्लांट हाइट अगर कम है तो अर्ली फ्रूटिंग आएगा, उसकी जुवेनिलिटी कम रहेगी। दिस इज द प्रिंसिपल ऑन दैट वी फॉलो द ट्रेडिशनल एंड हाई डेंसिटी, okay, to reduce the juvenility. Next, this is the based on the height. Next things is how we reduce the juvenility on that the propagation. Okay, when you propagate the scion, the scion is the larger tree, scion stalk which we take in the upper part. This is the root stalk. This is the scion stalk. We graft here. Okay, so scion stalk will take from the larger tree. That branch is already matured. Okay, and this is root stalk is not matured, okay, because this is the single year old, but this branch is developed from the older tree that having the maturity will be there, तो दिस गिव द इनिशियल मीन्स अर्ली स्टेज पे ही फ्रूटिंग दे देगा, क्योंकि ये मेच्योर है, ये इमेच्योर स्टेज पे है, ओके, तो हमें रूट स्टॉक से कोई हमारा मतलब नहीं है, देयर विल बी नॉट एनी इंटरफेरेंस विद रूट स्टॉक, we need only the scion stalk that give the fruits. So on the basis of maturity, it give the early fruit. Where we go in the seedling, seedling will take the root stalk maturity, then scion stalk maturity, then after that it give the fruits. Okay, so this is the two techniques where first one is the reduce the plant height, next one is the propagation techniques where the vegetative propagation we follow to reduce their juvenility. Okay. In the conventional, very low. In somewhat only we reduce the dry branches or some overclouding types branches. Okay. In the traditional, no pruning until 0% pruning. Here only somewhat pruning we adopt, like we reduce the, we remove the only dried branches or any disease infected branches. Okay. Which system means? This is the overall how the mechanization will start from here traditional up to precision. Okay, this is the only flow chart. In the further upcoming slide we discuss the one by one in the high density planting, ultra high density planting and precision horticulture. Okay, so this is the only overall flow how we can start. So this is the our course for the AHO and ADHO we have already launched. This is the class where you see this is the a very common price 1999. This is the common price, and you find the all test recorded class and crisp notes, mock test, everything whatever required to qualify the exam you easily find in this. Okay, so you can enroll now and you join and enjoy the lectures. Okay, because very less times I think will be there for your exam. First one is the advanced topic is the high density planting. So what is the high density planting? High density planting nothing involves the planting more plant per unit area. This is the simple definition of high density planting. Normal spacing, suppose 10 meter, you reduce the spacing of the plant up to 5 meter. This is called the high density planting. Okay, to more plant per unit area. Okay, what is the objective? Major objective, early production, because the plant height reduce. If the reduce, then it gives the early fruiting. Okay, next one is the higher yielded per unit area. Here the per unit area we talking, per plant is not. Okay, because the in the conventional system the plant height is 10 feet. Suppose it give the maximum fruit. If you reduce the plant height 5 feet, it not give the same as yield as like the 10 fruit. But we adopt the maximum number of plant. On that 10 fruit, we plant only single plant. And here we plant the 3 plant. So single plant if give the 5 fruits, then overall we got the 15 kg fruits. Okay, so per unit area means this much area maximum yield we got the only high density planting. Okay, next the efficient land utilization. कोई यहाँ पे फालतू में लैंड यूटिलाइज नहीं हुआ, सिंगल प्लांट है, दिस कैनोपी रिक्वायर हेयर ओके, सो नो एडिशनल लैंड विल बी वेस्ट. ओके, यहाँ पे इफिशियंट लैंड यूटिलाइजेशन इन एवरी part of land we will utilize to plant a single plant. Okay, suppose this area In the traditional system, will require only single plant. In the high density planting, we plant only 3 plants here. Okay. Next one is the better light interception. Okay, interception means plant uptake how much light. Suppose here 100% light is fall in the canopy, okay, and plant absorb on the 80% light in the high density planting, because here 3 plants is there and the canopy maintain, light is intercept and penetrate in the whole canopy, and this uptake the maximum light. In the conventional system where the overcrowding is there, then it will take only 60% light. Okay, so the light interception is the how much light plant uptake or absorb. Okay, this is the light interception. So in the high density planting, maximum light interception will be there. Easier canopy management, here the suppose plant height is small, जब plant size जो उसकी small है, then वो क्या करेगा, maximum वहाँ पे हम easily से उसको canopy maintain कर सकते हैं. But when the plant height is too large, up to 10-15 feet, so very intensity require or very mechanization things is required to maintain the canopy. Efficient use of the water nutrient, and same things, suppose this is the high density planting, you follow the drip irrigation or any other techniques, even the simple irrigation. So if the maximum plant is there, their root is spread in the maximum direction, it uptake the maximum the nutrient as well as water. Okay, so this is the things what is the main objective, on that we follow the high density planting. Yeah, quality of fruit is important, because here you should add one thing, quality. In the conventional, suppose this is the overcrowded branch, those fruits which are produced in the outer side of canopy, this gives the maximum quality fruit, but inside canopy this will not uptake the any sunlight, so here the quality will be reduced. But in the high density planting, you see the all fruit are directly exposed under the sunlight, this is you see, so this will give the higher quality fruit. In the high density planting, you should harvest the high quality fruits. Okay, so there will be no compromise in the quality. Okay, so don't insect and pest increase due to overcrowding. In the conventional system, there will be risk of the higher insect and pest, because there will be not any proper maintenance. In the high density planting, after each and every pruning, suppose this is a branch where you maintain the make the pruning, just after you paste any the pesticide or fungicide in the mixture of pesticide and fungicide, so this protect the spread of any pest and disease. But in the overcrowded, due to the overcrowding, a microclimate build up that will initiate the disease and pest incidents. Okay. High estimate 2.5 into Amrapali not well stabilized in India. Yeah, it will stabilize for the Amrapali. This is the efficient techniques commercially standardized in North India. 2.5 into 2.5 meter for the Amrapali mango. This is following the North India. But this due to the genetic mechanism, when Amrapali you grow in the south condition, their canopy is increased. Okay, this is the genetic mechanism, or you can say the environment variable. The मेन जो स्टैंडर्ड हमारा जो आम्रपाली है, सपोज दिस विल अटेंड द हाइट ऑफ 2 meter in North India. When you grow this Amrapali in the South India, it attain approx 3 meter. That's why some the distance variable will be C. Okay, but standard जो recommended है उसका 2.5 into 2.5 meter ही है. Okay. No, suffocation is not there, because we maintain the regular canopy. Here you see the canopy maintenance in every year. Every time in after harvesting, you should make the pruning. Though there are no overcrowding will be there. Okay, here maximum. Suppose here see this one is single plant, this one is single plant, but we make their canopy. Okay, very efficient way. Not the overcrowding will be there. Okay. सो कोई ओवर क्राउडिंग यहाँ पे नहीं होगा, जितना हमें चाहिए. सपोज फॉर वन फ्रूट वी रिक्वायर ओनली 50 लीव्स, so according to that we maintain that much canopy that will fulfill the carbohydrate requirement. So overcrowding will be not there, maximum sunlight interception is there, so higher photosynthetic efficiency will be there, so it gives the higher quality. There will be no overcrowding, so reduce the pest and disease incidence. Okay, so this is the way. Ab most important thing, what is the component which we follow the high density planting? Okay, what the things is required for the high density planting? So first one is the suitable root stock. Here the importance of root stock. If the dwarfing root stock is there, so this will reduce again the plant height, because the high density planting main attention is the reduce the plant height. If you can't maintain the plant height, then overcrowding will be there, reduce the fruit yield, fruit size, everything will be reduced. Okay, so main attention is reduce the plant height. So first one is the root stock. If you have the dwarfing root stock, then you can continue your high density planting. Second one is the dwarf scion or semi-dwarf cultivars. First one is the root stock. Next one is the, if you use the scion stock that itself having the dwarfiness in nature, then you got the ultra high density, because here dwarf root stock is also showing the dwarfiness, even the and the scion stock is also showing the dwarfiness. So you make the ultra dwarf plant. Okay, that height is very less. Okay, next, appropriate spacing. Okay, next component, appropriate spacing. If suppose you plant the dwarf root stock or dwarf plant in the wider spacing, in the 10 meter into 10 meter, if there will be no single plant, then it will take maximum nutrient, maximum irrigation, or maximum water, and it again it increase their height. Okay, so here the spacing are also important, that will maintain or reduce the overcrowding and also reduce the overcrowding and light interception. Okay, next one is the training and pruning. Another important thing is training and pruning. Here you see the proper maintenance of the tree. Why? Because the regular training and pruning will be followed. Okay, so the training, what the shape you are going to give your plant. Okay, suppose you have to follow the V shape training, T shape training, tatura trailing system, और बहुत सारे open canopy system we will see in the later slides. Okay, in the training system. So training system and pruning system is the regular practice which make the or reduce the your high density planting success. Okay, next one is the PGR. How the PGR is responsible for the high density planting? Anyone? PGR, basically you see the PGR, plant growth regulator, arginine, gibberellin, cytokinin, this is responsible for the plant growth, but some growth retardant will be there at NTGA3. If the NTGA3 you use, anti-oxygen, if you use, this will reduce the plant height because reduce the cell division. Okay, regulate growth period. Yeah, somewhat you are correct. So example is triple C हुआ, SADH, malic hydrazide MH, triple C, SADH, MH, and AMO 1618, 16-18. These are the several growth retardant which you use or spray that will reduce the plant height. Okay. Yeah, uniconazole is also there. Next one is the fertigation. Here the high density planting, the maximum plant will be there. Then you always follow the fertigation techniques, included the drip irrigation. Here the irrigation you commonly follow the drip irrigation. If you are give the maximum irrigation at the maximum irrigation, then the plant height always increase. So requirement, on the basis of requirement you give the at sufficient irrigation and fertigation also. Yeah, SADH full form I'll forget. You can search in internet. Okay, because very big name, SADH. This is the component. You should always, when you are writing in the descriptive exam also, you follow the suitable root stock, dwarfing scion, dwarfing cultivars, appropriate spacing, training, pruning, PGR is important, fertigation is important, irrigation is important. Another things if we say here, okay, next one is the graft compatibility. Suppose here graft compatibility. Grafting, you know the graft incompatibility. Suppose you, if you plant the graft compatible root stock and scion, it continue grow at same size. But if you use the graft incompatible, as you see in the bare section, okay, जब graft incompatible करोगे तो due to incompatibility plant height वहाँ पे reduce हो जाता. How? Because the if the grafting incompatibility will be there, so not the flow the any the growth regulator और द मिनरल्स और वाटर कंटिन्यू फ्लो, यहाँ पे कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन रहेगा जिसकी वजह से भी प्लांट हाइट रिड्यूस होता है. तो ग्राफ्ट इनकम्पेटिबिलिटी में भी ए कंपोनेंट. ओके, Like that there are several components that having the minor role. Okay, maximum role इसका ही है हमारा. Okay, so यहाँ से किसी भी types के if may we ask the any types of question from this section, you should be in the position to answer. Okay, because the main objective will be there. Here we discuss already component. What is the component we has already discussed. Okay, this is the overall of the high density. Now the ultra high density planting, we can see the meadow orcharding. Meadow orcharding. Okay, meadow orcharding. First time it was in India. First time it was started from 2006 in the guava orchard. Okay, in the CISH by Dr. Gorakh Singh. Okay, in the earlier first it originated in the Israel and most commercialized in the England. Okay, it was in the world first time it was originated in Israel and commercialized in the England. Okay, Israel, England, in India, CISH under the guava by Dr. Gorakh Singh. Okay, so what is the key feature here? Very close spacing. On that high density planting, normal spacing. Okay, reduce the spacing. Here the very close spacing, 1 into 2 meter spacing will be follow. Okay, next one is the dwarfing root stock and cultivar, same as followed in the our high density planting. Strict pruning on the high density planting, a regular pruning will be there. But in this section, ultra high density planting, strict pruning will require. In a year, suppose guava orchard requires 3 times pruning in a year. Okay, Ambe Mrig has just after harvesting, you should the follow the do bridge grafting. Yeah, bridge grafting we will discuss in the grafting section because it will interfere this lecture. Okay, grafting mein what the techniques of grafting, why we follow the bridge grafting, everything we will follow. Okay, we will discuss on that. Okay, so strict pruning means regular pruning तो हमारा high density में रहता है. Okay, incompatibility not always good. Incompatibility reduce the plant life, but for the high density planting where you not continue go to take the fruit up to 30 year 40 year, in the high density planting, ultra high density planting, if you have any root stock or scion stock that give the incompatibility region, reduce the plant height but not compromise anyway in the fruit size or fruit yield, then that will be good. Okay, always in the general term, incompatibility is not a good. Okay, but some if you have the some root stock, some scion that give the reduced plant height and not compromise anyway in the fruit size and yield, that will be good. Okay, it is possible not only 27,000, even 50,000 plants is adopted in this condition. I will discuss it one. Okay, first we complete this, then we will discuss how much density will be adopt under this system. Okay, next the strict pruning, up to 3 pruning is required in the case of the guava. In the case of the apple, it will also follow in the 3 to 4 pruning, summer pruning, winter pruning, and in between if required it make the pruning. Okay, regular canopy management is the important things. Drip irrigation, we always follow the drip irrigation. Next the fertigation. In the drip irrigation, we make the soluble fertilizer and apply that. That is the fertigation. Okay, next the mechanization potential. In the ultra high density planting, we follow the almost 95% mechanization. Okay, this is the only features where we follow the ultra high density planting. Advantage is there, early bearing, because here the very reduce the plant height. Okay, high productivity per unit area, efficient resource utilization because we follow the drip irrigation, fertigation, higher canopy management, then higher light interception will be there. Okay, so efficient, all the resource will be absorbed here. Easier harvesting because the plant height is very reduced. If you see the mango orchard, here up to plant height is this much, you continue here, stand here and drop pick the all fruits. Okay, better orchard management, if the reduce the plant height and everything maintain, the orchard management is always is the better in condition. Okay. Next, the limitation is require high technical skill and intensive management required. If you have not the technical skill to maintain or reduce the plant height or maintain their canopy, then ultra high density planting is always in the field. Okay, will going to field. Okay, but यहाँ पे आपको अगर आपके पास skills है canopy management and orchard management, then you go for ultra high density planting. Now discuss the density. How efficient utilization. Suppose this is the plant density. You see this plant, this plant, this plant. You follow the drip irrigation. So drip irrigation will make the drip in the zones of the root, so no water will be washed. Okay, all water which you applied, plant uptake this because density is high and water uptake is maximum in drip irrigation. You follow the next one is the fertigation. There will be not any fertilizer loss because in the mix of drip irrigation, plant just uptake all the minerals. Next one is the light interception. Here the canopy management will be very strong and high density, then all the sunlight what you have exposed in the orchard, that will uptake by plant. Okay, so the resource, because the sunlight is the important resource in your orchard. Okay, next thing, here the weed management will be there because the always the mechanized condition, you can't go on this side, this side, this side, so there will be very less weed. Okay, तो वो आपका वीड से जो भी हर्बिसाइड वगैरह था वो कम हो गया. नेक्स्ट, इफ यू और कैनोपी मैनेजमेंट, हाई लाइट इंटरसेप्शन था, लाइट पेनिट्रेशन ज्यादा है, देन क्या होगा आपका यहाँ पे डिजीज एंड पेस्ट का इंसिडेंस कम होगा. देन आपका जो भी पेस्ट में या फंजीसाइड इंसेक्टिसाइड में जो कॉस्ट जा रहा था वो रिड्यूस हो जाएगा. तो उसके बेसिस पे आपका इफिशियंट रिसोर्स यहाँ पे यूज हो जाएगा. ओके, so efficient resource utilization maximum you see in the ultra high density planting, followed by high density planting, then very less in the conventional system, because in the conventional system all irrigation, fertigation, everything is going to lost. Okay, plant uptake only few percent of that. Next we see the density of planting. Suppose you follow the 1 into 2 meter, then calculate approx, it give the approx 500 plant. But it not a general standardized techniques, you should follow only 1 into 2 meter. Okay, in the several orchard, in the especially in the temperate crops, especially in the our the this one apple, there will be some spacing in the 0.5 into 0.5 meter. This is the techniques only which training system or which pruning system you should follow in your orchard. On the basis of that, it reduce the plant height or increase the plant height up to 50,000 per hectare. In Indian condition also, if you see in a video in YouTube, there will be some training system which commonly follow in our condition also, then that adopt more than 50,000 plant. Okay, somewhere in the sometime it reduce the further plant height or spacing in the 0.25 meter. Okay, into 0.25 meter. Okay, so it is not a general standard. This is the 1 into 2 meter. This is especially for the guava. Okay, in the apple it may be reduce the spacing 0.25 meter, even up to that, up to further it will reduce. Okay, तो यहाँ पे कोई ऐसा स्टैंडर्डाइज नहीं है कि अप टू दिस आपका 27,000 प्लांट ही अडॉप्ट हो, इससे भी ज्यादा हो सकता है. दिस इज ओनली वे कि कितना आप कैनोपी मेंटेन कर पा रहे हैं. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट योर density will be followed. Okay, next some important features: high density, ultra high density, conventional. Plant population very low, high, here very high because the density is high and reduce the plant distance. Okay, next the spacing, here the wide spacing, reduce the spacing, here the very reduced spacing. Okay, next the canopy, here the canopy large, here the control, here highly controlled because the highly training and pruning efficient techniques. Okay, early yield, here the low yield, here high, here very high per plant. Okay, next one is the pruning requirement. Here very low pruning requirement, here high, here the very high pruning, up to 3 pruning per year. Okay, next one is the fertigation. Here optional, you should follow or not follow. Okay, but here important and here essential, you should always follow the fertigation technique. In the management intensity, very low management required, here the high management, here the very high management. Everything is very high in the ultra high density planting, and high in high density planting and low in the conventional system. Similarly, it will affect on your yield and quality. Here the maximum yield, maximum quality, and here the quality is high and high yield, here very low yield and very low quality. Okay, this is the difference of these three types of our systems. Okay, next one is the precision orcharding. In the precision orcharding nowadays, very we are talking very on the precision horticulture. Okay, because in the precision horticulture, site specific management of orchard resource using the modern technology. Here we use the modern technology and site specific management. Suppose this is the orchard, maybe this area will require the higher irrigation because it directly exposed under the sunlight. This area require the lower irrigation. This area may require the higher fertilizer application, and this area require very low fertigation. So site specific management means whatever plant require we supply on that much only. Okay, सपोज यहाँ पे अगर आपका प्लांट रिक्वायर कर रहा है 1 ग्राम नाइट्रोजन, तो हम यहाँ पे 1 ग्राम ही अप्लाई करेंगे. तो से देर आर सेवरल टेक्निक्स एंड दैट वी कैन से मॉडर्न टेक्निक्स. व्हाट इज दोज मॉडर्न टेक्निक्स? GPS, geographical position, sorry, global position system. GPS, you know, the in your vehicle also GPS will be there, that will give the where it is the where the position is there. Okay, so in that there are several types of GPS also there. GIS, geographical information system is there. Remote sensing, that remote will sense the signal. Next one is the drones. Drones आपको पता ही, जैसे drones है, this will also use in the fertilizer application and any pesticide application, fungicide application, and monitoring of the orchard, पेस्ट इंसिडेंस को डिटेक्ट करने के लिए, ऐसा बहुत सारे. नेक्स्ट वन इज द IoT, इंटरनेट ऑफ द थिंग्स. इन द इंटरनेट ऑफ द थिंग्स ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर इंक्लूडेड. इट मेक ए self sufficient things which observe the everything in the orchard. Suppose here we kept one, suppose here we kept a room. Okay, in the room all the drones, robotics and sensor is there, that sends the signal from here, what the things is required here, what the things is required, this give the signal, and this signal is transferred to this mechanization. Okay, this will, suppose this is the drip irrigation system. यहाँ पे अगर आपको पता चलेगा if the requirement of the water is there, then it will on the switch, automatically will on the switch, and the irrigation is completed here. When the irrigation is completed, then signal is passed out and this will stop the irrigation. This is totally mechanized even. Okay, next one is the sensor. As you see the sensor, suppose this is the sensor, here they take the sensor, this is the sensor, it will take the data from here, there, soil data, climate data, everything whatever is there in your orchard, that will send in this section, and here they observe, then further the processing is going on. Okay, weather station, there will be weather station. Nowadays the Indian government, GPS, here the GPS first things, whatever the machinery you use, where the GPS you use. Next the GPS is the not only it give the global position. Okay, आपके जैसे vehicles में वो कहाँ पे उसको डिटेक्ट करने के लिए है. यहाँ पे GPS आपको डायरेक्शन भी बताएगा. सपोज वो यहाँ पे एक मशीनरी है, दिस इज द ऑटोमेटिक मशीन. ओके, सो GPS follow this machinery to drive this up to here. Okay, this is will help in the riding of this vehicle, क्योंकि ये ऑटोमेटिक व्हीकल है. तो GPS in this there will be several way to कहीं भी उसको यूज कर सकते हैं. ओके, तो GPS sensor, weather station. Now the government of India will promote the weather station. There will be a small weather station in your orchard. Suppose you have the 5-hectare orchard, then you adopt a weather station. A smart weather station वहाँ पे आपका adopt होगा. Suppose like आपका जैसे यहाँ पे एक रूम बता रहे थे, और इसका कुछ सेंसर पूरे ऑर्चर्ड में रहेगा. Directly it will take the data from this, that will whether they take the पूरा environment का data, soil data, other things data, and will send in this station. Okay, small, very small station, automatic station रहेगा, and this will cost approx only 2 to 3 lakh. Okay, okay, तो 2 to 3 लाख से आपका 2 हेक्टेयर एरिया का एक स्मॉल वेदर स्टेशन स्टेबलाइज में भी हो सकता है. ओके, automated irrigation system, then again the sense the data, and it will irrigate or stop the switch on and irrigate your field. Okay, next one is the automated fertigation. In the same, in the irrigation, it will maintain or it will make the fertigation techniques. Okay, next one is the robotics. You know the robotics, aapko if drive the tractor, the robots is go and drive the tractor. Okay, so this will fertilize everything. Okay, so decision support system, main thing is decision support system. If you have the all these data, GPS data, GIS data, remote sensing, drones, everything is there, then what is the main things here? The decision support system, who will take the decision whether this data is required for the irrigation, whether this data is required for the fertigation. Okay, so there will be a decision support system which make a in a room that will initiate or maintain the whole activity. These all things come under the precision agriculture. Okay, or precision horticulture. Here the now another one, maybe here the one question is there. There will be several machinery. First one is the sensor. Okay, this is the sensor, this is the drone, robotics will be there, some machinery will be there, some another things. There are several machinery, not only drone is utilized. Okay, बहुत सारी मशीनरी हैं. Okay, next protected cultivation था. Protected cultivation is also under the our the precision articles. Protected cultivation is followed in the fruit science. If you see the small fruits, that example in the grapes, suppose you have the grapes. Next one is the papaya. Next one is the, you see already you have read the strawberry, commercially grow in the uh, protected cultivation. Strawberry. Next you have the pineapple. Next you have the apple. Even the nowadays the mango is also used in the greenhouse condition. So these are the, there are several crops which have the small canopy. If you follow the ultra high density planting, then why not the our the protected cultivation will suitable. Okay, if the canopy is reduced, then always it will very easily to adopt the any protected cultivation. Okay, this is the blue color tank. This is especially the our, we can say, the drip irrigation system. This is the tank where the water is filled and that maintain. This is the sensor device will switch on the this, and there the pipe is there which go, and this is the dripper is there which follow the drip irrigation. Okay, so if the canopy will be reduced, then always it will adopt under the protected cultivation. And small canopy crop as like the strawberry and several papaya, pineapple which have already been adopted. And nowadays even the lychee, mango, apple, pear, kiwi fruit, there are several crops which are continue growing under the protected cultivation. Okay, so the protected cultivation is the also the part of the precision articles, because in the protected cultivation all these things will follow or will maintain in the easily way. Okay, so this is the overall the under the precision horticulture. You should know the what is the GPS. Maybe they will ask the full form in your exam. What is the GIS, geographical information system, remote sensing, drones? You know the little bit about that. Okay, because in your exam as I was seeing the question, in our condition, northeastern state in the West Bengal, some pocket are there. In the high progressive farmer will continue growing the our condition. Basically, in the this types of precision horticulture or precision fruit science is not much adoptable in the Indian condition. Now the farmer is the progressive is going to initiate these techniques, but in the world level, if you see, there will be several crops where the commonly where country where commonly these techniques are usually followed. Okay, इंडिया कंडीशन में अभी कम है थोड़ा, डे बाय डे थोड़ा इंक्रीज हो रहा है. ओके, so this is overall the under the precision horticulture. Next, the components of the modern fruit cultivation. This is the up to last slide. Modern orchard. Suppose this is the modern orchard where the all the canopy density everything was managed. Okay, so what is required? Quality planting materials, because the quality planting material is the only things where you have decide your crops is failed or will give the higher yield, because this is the first step. यहाँ पे अगर आप प्लांट है, यही अगर वायरल इन्फेक्टेड या किसी भी चीज से या जेनेटिक जो भी आप वैरायटी, सपोज यू वांट द ग्रो इन द आम्रपाली वैरायटी, if this plant is not amrapali, then your whole orchard failed out, and you will realize this after only 3 to 4 years, when this will come in the fruiting stage. Then at that time you realize this is only failed down, and you lost a several crop, means several lakhs rupees. Okay. Cultivating pineapple in greenhouse will be a loss. No, cultivation pineapple in greenhouse would be not loss. This is the high productive system. If you grow on the pineapple under the protected cultivation, you should make the their climate requirement. Suppose the because the pineapple is highly variable to climate. Okay, तो उसका डे लेंथ, प्रॉपर डे लेंथ चाहिए, तभी उसमें फ्लावरिंग आता है. इफ यू हैव द प्रोटेक्टेड कल्टीवेशन, यू शुड मेंटेन द उसका लाइट रिक्वायरमेंट. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट वो टाइमली फ्लावरिंग दे देगा. उसमें बहुत सारी टेक्निक्स है जिसकी वजह से यू गॉट द मैक्सिमम यील्ड. So not it is a lost. Okay. Next, where we have quality planting material. So the quality planting material is the first step where you should decide whether you are the profited or lost. Okay. तो ये फर्स्ट स्टेप है. अगर हम यहाँ पे ही मेंटेन कर दें प्लांट की हेल्थ को, वायरल इन्फेक्शन को, डिजीज को, पेस्ट को, मेंटेनेंस को, सारा चीज, देन यू ऑलवेज गॉट द प्रॉफिट फ्रॉम योर business. Okay. Next one is the suitable site and climate. Site selection, you know, because the site selection is the important things. Okay. First, you know the site selection, what things you keep in your mind. First, the climate is requirement. Suppose you are growing the apple, so the sufficient climate is there. Then you plant the apple. Then the irrigation will be there. Then road facility is there. Okay. Next, the mechanization is there. Labor will be there. Next, most important thing is the market will be there. Okay. If all these things will be there, then you go on the particular crops. Okay. On the basis of availability of the resource, you go for the plantation or the choose the any crops which are you are planted in here. Next one is the high density planting and ultra high density planting. We have discussed there are several things on that. Next one is the canopy management. There are several there are a lecture on the canopy management we will discuss in the later slide. Deep irrigation, आपको deep irrigation पता ही है, drop by drop. You apply the water in the drop by drop with the help of the drippers. Okay, that is the called drip irrigation. Then the fertigation, when you should mix the fertilizer in the irrigation water and apply in the way of the drip irrigation, that is the called fertigation. Okay, you have two techniques. One is the drip irrigation, next one is the sprinkler irrigation. But mostly in the fruit crops we follow the drip irrigation. Okay. Next one is the integrated nutrient management. You not follow only a single fertilizer or only in the organic or inorganic fertilizer. In the integrated fertilizer management, you go and you should follow the all the available resource. This may be organic, this will be inorganic, this will be biofertilizer. So you mix all the available resource in the integrated nutrient management. Okay, organic, inorganic, organic, maybe biofertilizer, maybe green manure. Everything you should follow in this integrated nutrient management. Then next one is the precision technology. We have discussed this one. Climate smart practices. If you adopt the precision technology, high density planting and canopy management, then you always follow the adopt the climate smart practices. Okay, जो climate को कि वेरिएबिलिटी को, क्लाइमेट की डिफरेंस को अडॉप्ट कर सके, दैट इज द कॉल्ड climate smart practice. Okay. Next one is the post harvest management. This is the important thing, because in our condition, in Indian condition, almost 15 to 25% total produce will be lost by after the harvesting. So post harvest loss will be very high in our condition. Okay. Always when you go for the drip irrigation, you take only the water soluble fertilizer. There will be no chance of the insoluble fertilizer. If you the insoluble fertilizer, then it will not resolve in the water. जब उसमें mix ही नहीं होगा water में, then if we apply, then वो drippers को block कर देगा. So you have only option, you should follow only the soluble fertilizer in the drip irrigation. Okay. Otherwise उस तुम्हारे जो भी ड्रिपर्स उनको ब्लॉक करके पूरे सिस्टम को ब्लॉक कर देगा. ओके. Okay. So next one is the post harvest management. So post harvest attention is very high because the loss is 15 to 25% in Indian condition. Okay. So there will be most important things is the post harvest management to reduce the post harvest losses. Okay. Yeah, same thing. In the drip irrigation, you should follow apply only the water. Okay. But if you add or mix the fertilizer in that water, this is called drip irrigation. Okay. So fertigation is the follow only two way. First one is the drip irrigation, next one is the स्प्रिंकलर इरिगेशन, क्योंकि आपको फर्टिलाइजर वाटर में मिक्स करके अप्लाई करना है. नेक्स्ट अगर कन्वेंशनल इरिगेशन, इफ यू फॉलो द कन्वेंशनल इरिगेशन, देयर विल बी सेवरल फर्टिलाइजर और सम अमाउंट ऑफ फर्टिलाइजर विल बी लॉस्ट, क्योंकि वहाँ पे सारा वाटर जो है प्लांट अपटेक नहीं करेगा. ओके. तो यहाँ पे अगर इफ यू फॉलो द फर्टिगेशन, इट रिड्यूस द आपका जो भी कास्ट फर्टिलाइजर का है अप्रॉक्स 50% फर्टिलाइजर यहाँ पे सेव होता है, बिकॉज इट विल मिक्स इन द इरिगेशन, और इरिगेशन वाटर को जस्ट प्लांट अपटेक कर लेता है. ओके. तो यू शुड मिक्स द फर्टिलाइजर इन द इरिगेशन वाटर, दैट इज कॉल्ड इरिगेशन फर्टिगेशन. ओके. Post harvest management industry not always require. If you go for the processing, then industry will be required. Okay. In the post harvest there are several techniques. From the harvesting, first you know the proper maturity indices, you harvest the proper maturity stage, then harvesting technique, these all come under the post harvest. Okay. This is during the harvest, but these techniques maintain the post harvest loss. Next you have the harvesting techniques. In the some fruits you may make the cut, or some fruits just pick out. Okay. This the harvesting. After the harvesting, grading. Okay. Next one is the grading. After grading, the pre-cooling, then harvesting, then the loading or packaging, then transportation. All these connectivity, if you maintain in the proper or any standard technique, then it will reduce the post harvest loss. And the last, the cold chain. Okay. If you have the cold storage facility, then always it will reduce the post harvest loss. Next, last step is the processing. For the processing in the industry will be required. Okay. Another things you should make in your farm itself. Next is, this is the last step, future of fruit production. As we have discussed, there are several advanced techniques in the fruits. So the future of our, especially Indian condition, it depend on the techniques which are we go for the follow. Major trend is high density, ultra high density we require in everywhere, in every orchard. Then will increase the productivity and increase the fruit quality also. Precision horticulture, because in every time there will be shortage of the labor. So if the precision horticulture is there, then it will take the data and sensor, then robotics. It reduce the labor cost, and efficient nutrient or efficient resource management will be there. Okay. Next, smart irrigation. We always follow the drip irrigation, and if drip irrigation not there, then we have the option in the sprinkler irrigation. Sensor based fertigation, at the it come under the precision horticulture. Some sensor will be there that take the soil data and plant data at the condition where the fertilizer will be required. Okay. At that time it will give the sense and start the irrigation or fertigation. Okay. Drone based monitoring, drone will be there that monitor the pest incidence, disease incidence, water requirement, another thing, all the things is the drone based. Okay. Next one is the AI assisted decision making. Most important things, सारा डाटा आपके पास आ गया. You have the all data, drones, robotics, everything. But if you have the AI based assistant, तो there will be no manpower. कोई man की जरूरत नहीं है. This is a room where the AI will be there and this will switch off, switch on. जो भी requirement है वो सारा AI के द्वारा हो जाएगा. Okay. If you should receive only a single message in your phone, this work is done. Okay. Based on the AI help. Next one is the mechanization and robotics. We have discussed climate resilient cultivars that will adapt in the several climate or climate variable condition. Sustainable production means there will be not where high production we use the all available resource in this year. Next year we have not anything will be there. Okay. So sustainable means will maintain the availability. Whatever we have the available, especially the renewable and non-renewable resource, we use that. Okay. Protected production system, as we have discussed that there are several crops which now continue growing on the protected cultivation. Traceability and quality assurance, this is the important. After the harvesting, if you use the GPS or any barcode in your product or any fruits, that will trace. Suppose this is a fruit crops, okay, यहाँ पे कोई आपका वायरल डिजीज या कोई अटैक्स आ गया, ओके, अगर आपके पास ट्रेसेबिलिटी है, वन फ्रूट यहाँ पे डिटेक्ट किया गया, तो इसके बेसिस पे डायरेक्ट हम फॉर्म को डिटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, इस फॉर्म से ये गया है, तो इस फॉर्म से जितना प्रोड्यूस है, सपोज हमारा 10 क्विंटल है, हम इस 10 क्विंटल को लॉस्ट कर देंगे, बाकी अदर जितना वाट एवर फ्रूट्स वी हैव देयर इन द विसिनिटी ऑफ दिस विल सेव। अदरवाइज क्या होगा, हम अगर ट्रेस नहीं कर पाए, तो अगर यहाँ 10 क्विंटल की जगह पे हमें 50 क्विंटल, इफ टोटल फ्रूट्स इज 50 क्विंटल, तो हमें पूरा को लॉस्ट करना पड़ेगा, ओके। सो ट्रेसेबिलिटी इज इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स, ओके। Nowadays APEDA is very start the initiative in the traceability system. Export oriented production, we always focus on the export, not for the traditional market. We have also need to focus on the international export system, okay. Smart irrigation is the things. Smart irrigation, you should include the drip irrigation and fertigation, okay. बट स्मार्ट में इंक्लूडेड द एआई का कुछ, वहां पे रोबोटिक्स का कुछ और भी इंक्लूड कर सकते हो. सो ड्रिप एंड स्प्रिंकलर इज द टाइप ऑफ स्मार्ट इरिगेशन, ओके. But here the smart irrigation, because we are talking the precision horticulture, then you should always add the some drones or robotics or any sensors based, okay. Sustainable pesticide. Sustainable pesticide means you have the label claim pesticide. There are several term in the pesticide application, okay. You should recommended, जिसका हमारा MRL मैक्सिमम रेसिडुअल लिमिट होता है, MRL. We have standardized it. Suppose you have any pesticide. Suppose that name is A. This pesticide is recommended for the apple crops, and their recommended dose is 10 ppm, okay. So if the concentration we detect more than 10 ppm, then the टोटल प्रोडक्ट हमारा जो लॉस्ट है वो प्रिवेंट कर दिया जाएगा एक्सपोर्ट के लिए. सो हम यहाँ पे क्या करेंगे, सस्टेनेबल प्रैक्टिस जो पेस्टिसाइड्स का है, यहाँ पे हम सिंगल फर्टिलाइजर जो भी वो हमारा पेस्टिसाइड, सपोज पेस्टिसाइड्स है, उसको एक सुटेबल स्टेज पे एप्लीकेशन करेंगे, ओके. मीन्स यहाँ पे आप सिंपली वे में इंटीग्रेटेड पेस्टिसाइड या इंटीग्रेटेड पेस्ट मैनेजमेंट को आप कंसीडर कर सकते हैं. सस्टेनेबिलिटी कोई ऐसा नहीं, सपोज दिस पेस्टिसाइड वी अप्लाई more than 50 ppm, okay, that will cost totally lost, okay. Okay, recommended MRL, whatever the MRL, we reduce the MRL limit. अगर वहाँ 10 ppm है, so you should apply only 8 ppm, okay. Production. सस्टेनेबल, इफ यू सी द सस्टेनेबल प्रोडक्शन जो तुम्हारा है प्योर ऑर्गेनिक, तो वहाँ पे प्योर ऑर्गेनिक की हम बात नहीं करेंगे, बिकॉज इफ यू आर गोइंग इन द प्योर ऑर्गेनिक, देन इट विल रिड्यूस द प्रोडक्टिविटी. दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग्स. गवर्नमेंट आपको बात करता है कि ये हो सकता है, बट टोटली आप ऑर्गेनिक में जाएंगे तो आपका जो है प्रोडक्टिविटी कम हो जाए. बट हम सजेस्ट करें इंटीग्रेटेड आप कर सकते हैं, ओके. ऑर्गेनिक इनऑर्गेनिक यू शुड मिक्स दैट एंड यू कंटिन्यू आर योर कल्टीवेशन, ओके. दिस विल मेंटेन द प्रोडक्टिविटी एज अर्लियर इट हैज, एंड रिड्यूस द जो हमारा ये लॉस्ट है हैवियर, जो हमारा हाई मेटल्स वगैरह यूज करने का इसका जो लॉस है ये कम हो जाएगा. So you should make the sustainability on the integrated way. This is the my advice and another scientist advice also. But government is promoting organic, total organic is not possible to make the fruit availability to all Indian or other another countries people. Okay. So this is the overall of today lecture, where we discuss the biodiversity importance and different origin and different types of cultivation system, okay. So if you have any question, any query, you should ask me. Yeah, you should reduce and maintain the productivity and the quality as well, both इन द सस्टेनेबल मीन्स हम कोई ज्यादा यूज नहीं करेंगे और कम यूज नहीं करेंगे, एक हम लेवल है उसी के बेसिस पे हम चलते रहेंगे। इफ यू हैव द सपोज एनी पेस्टिसाइड एमआरएल लिमिट आपका 10 ppm है, देन यू शुड ऑलवेज फॉलो द 10 ppm, उससे ज्यादा आपको नहीं जाना और कम कम भी नहीं जाना, इट इज ओके, बट 10 ppm इज स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड टेक्निक्स, ओके। So you make the sustainability on this way, not only the pesticide, all the things which you have applied, pesticide, nutrient management, anything. Okay. Okay. This the question I think we give in the your test series, because the lecture is always very long. We have reduced the several content. Okay. अगर यहाँ पे हम क्वेश्चन भी डिस्कस करने लगेंगे तो it will reduce the lecture का timing. We try to convey the several things. जो भी क्वेश्चंस हैं वी विल ट्राई टू प्रोवाइड ऑन द टेस्ट सीरीज इटसेल्फ, वी विल सॉल्व, इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन यू जस्ट मैसेज मी, ओके, एनी क्वेश्चन? ओके, yeah, you call me and I will suggest you drop a message, it will good for me also, because in all time we are not free na, I will give you reply, and evening or night you also call me. Okay, okay, I will try to mug up some government schemes, as MIDH will be there, NHB will be there, and NHB with the help of MIDH will provide, there are several subsidy where the we make the precision horticulture very in easy way. Yeah, in next lecture we will try to mug up some other another information related to your government schemes. Okay, because food science syllabus is too much lengthy, so not possible to done everything. Yeah, yeah, next class in app itself. We will inform in your group. You also read the canopy management, propagation techniques. We will discuss these things in next class. Okay, you can leave now.